I'm going to show you how we can use a calculator to simplify fractions, and this demo is going to use the TI-30 XS Multiview. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in a fraction, and so let's take a look at the calculator buttons we're going to be using. On this calculator, we're going to be using, ooh, that's nice, much less glare. We're going to be using this button, N over D, to enter a fraction, a regular fraction, and this number above it, in green, to enter a mixed number. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see that a little more clearly. So we're going to use these to enter a number. This second function button is going to be used to switch from a fraction to a mixed number and back. And this green second function button is going to be used to go from a fraction to a decimal and back. So, I'm going to start by putting in the fraction 42/70ths. So I'm going to start by typing that first number that I would put in the numerator, 42. Then I'm going to use this fraction entry button, N over D, and that's going to put the 42 up in the numerator, and you notice I've got a flashing cursor in the denominator, and so I'm going to type 70, and if I press enter after that, move it up so we can see the enter button, then you get 3. Is that 3/5? 3/5. Do a little bit bigger example. So this one is a mixed number. So I'm going to use the mixed number option for entering that number. So again, I'm going to enter the first whole number in that. So I'm going to press 2. And then I'm going to tell the calculator that I'm entering a mixed number. So second, so I press that second button first, and then I press this, and it says, oh, you want that as the whole number part, and now you're going to do a numerator and a denominator. So I'm going to type in 16 in my numerator, and how do I get down so I can put 24 in the denominator? I'm going to use these arrow keys. So I press an arrow to go down, and I type in 24. At this point, I can press enter, and the calculator will tell me the simplified version of that fraction. That is the fraction 8/3. This calculator has as its default for giving you answers to give you the fraction version, the improper fraction, the not a mixed number version. If you wanted a mixed number instead of a fraction, you could ask the calculator to do that for you by using this option up here. This changes a fraction to a mixed number and back again. So I'm going to do second function and that button and press enter, and it is going to turn that into the mixed number version, 2 2/3. Notice when I press a button, it is taking the thing that was already on the screen, so the calculator's default is to say, oh, you're having me do something new. I bet you're having me do it to the number that's already in the screen. So I don't need to type in 8/3 again. I don't need to type in 2/3 again. I'm going to turn this into a decimal. So I did second and this button to get the fraction to decimal, and that gives me the decimal. All right, I'm going to use this next fraction as an example for just how good this calculator is at turning decimals into fractions. So if I wanted to start off with the decimal version of this, I could put that into my calculator with a division sign. So having this fraction bar, the decimal answer to this is when you do 1014 divided by 442. 1014 divided by 442. So I just used the division button this time. And so that's going to give me the decimal. And you should know that the calculator is remembering a lot more of the decimal than it is able to show you on the screen. So there's much more, infinitely many pieces to that decimal, and the calculator is, of course, not keeping track of infinitely many, but it's keeping track of a lot more than it looks like. All right, so this much of the decimal is not enough for me to turn that back into a fraction. But this, with the other 20 or 30 digits that the calculator is remembering for this fraction, is enough. And so if I ask the calculator to turn that decimal into a fraction, so I did the second function and that button to get fraction to decimal, it will turn that into the fraction. So the simplified fraction for that is 39/17. Now, and of course you can take that and you can turn it into a mixed number using the fraction to mixed number option. And you can turn it back into a decimal. Now, notice that it's really important to have not just these decimals, but also all the rest. If you just had, say, 2.2941 written down, that would not be anywhere near enough decimal places for your calculator to give you the right decimal for that. You need 30 or 40 decimal places. But if you have enough decimal places, for instance, if you got them by having the calculator do that division, then the calculator will be pretty accurate. I would get this same 39/17 if I had put this in as a fraction. So if I'm going to turn it into a fraction and press enter, I get that same simplified fraction.